What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the vlog. It is Wednesday, it is 1 p.m. I didn't really vlog anything this morning. It was literally just heads down work and at the gym, and I feel like I've been putting the gym in too many of these vlogs. So I didn't record anything until now, but it is 1 p.m. and I've got to jump on a client call here actually right now. And so I have this client call at 1, and then I have a podcast recording at 2, which is the social report, which is the monthly episode I do in conjunction with TrueFan, where we talk about just social media news, influencer marketing news, interesting stories in marketing with Karen, who's TrueFan CMO, and Scott, who used to be TrueFan CGO, but now he works for a company called Metric, and he's an advisor to TrueFan. And then after that podcast, I have an interview with this guy named Tom from the UK. He listened to my podcast with Chris Van Vliet, really liked it, said he was an interviewer. So I told him, like, hey, we can jump on a call and chat about interviewing if you want. And he just flipped it and said he'd love to interview me about interviewing. So now that was supposed to be just a call, is now an interview, which I'm pretty excited for, which means I get to set up the new space with all the podcast stuff. I actually had a podcast yesterday that I shot in here. It looked pretty good. I think there's some work that still needs to be done to it. But yeah, I get to set up a new spot here for both my podcast and the interview I'm going on. So you get to see what the new setup looks like. The temporary setup, I should say. But yeah, and then after that, I got to edit the social report podcast because that has to come out on Friday. I have to finish prepping for another interview I'm recording on Friday with Patrice Renee, who's an NCAA athlete, plays football for Rutgers. And then I also have to I edited my podcast from yesterday already, so I have to send that for review. And then I have to schedule the social report and yesterday's podcast. I got a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces because I'm going to Portage next week, so I'm trying to make sure I'm well ahead with work, well ahead with client stuff. So yeah, welcome to you're going to be along with me for the rest of this day as I try and get a bunch of work done before really a lot of podcast stuff. I got a lot of client stuff done this morning. I was really heads down on that. But anyways, I am now 2 minutes late for this call with my client, so I'm going to jump into that one. All right, here is the end product of all the lighting. I will admit, lighting is not one of my strong suits in any way, shape, or form. I really kind of just make it up as I go. But I'm a big fan of the contrasting, kind of the yellow here and the blue here. I think it looks pretty clean, to be completely honest. So here's kind of the final setup. It's very scrappy, so please don't judge it. And we've got the ring light here, which it looks white here, but it's blasting a bit of a yellow light. I try and go for some warmer tones on my face. I've got the panel light here, which is, again, you can tell a little more there, the yellowy tones, the warmer tones, and then the blue light on this side. So this blue light here, that is literally just my open window. I'm going to close it halfway, otherwise it's too harsh if the window's open all the way. And then the warm light here, that contrasts the blue light, is these Hue Lights Hallie got me for Christmas, and just kind of make it work there on the couch. Oh, it actually works out though, because if they're on the ground, they're not strong enough to really light up the whole wall, especially like for it to show on the video. Like as you can see there, it lights up pretty solidly that wall, but really it only comes just above the armrest in the video. So I can't obviously get it like to cover the full wall in yellow like the blue is there, but it does a much better job. By having the couch there, I'm able to kind of elevate the lights so you can get some decent lighting in the corner there. So that's the setup here for the video. Move the mouse that I'm out there. But that's the setup for the video and the lighting with the new podcast. I wish, like, I have my Social Life light box here, and it's actually, I've done 149 of them now because I did my podcast yesterday. I have nowhere to display it in the background as of right now. It doesn't look very good resting on the couch armrest. Yeah, and I also, what I decided to do this time, so yesterday I clipped my camera onto, like this camera, I can clip it onto your laptop. That didn't look very good. So what I ended up doing here is I just put it on the GorillaPod behind the computer. You got to tilt it back far enough so you can't see it in the frame just there, which is perfect. And then I'll look a little bit more like I'm not, because yesterday I found when I was doing the podcast yesterday with Mario, he was kind of on this side of the screen, so all of my video I'm kind of like this. and I don't like that, how it looks like I'm looking down in the video. So hopefully with the camera there, if you see here, this is me looking at myself, which is where my guest will hopefully be when I record podcasts. So it looks a little bit more natural than me kind of looking down in a way. So by having it there, giving a little bit of extra breathing room, the camera's not sitting so much closer to me right there. It's gonna be, I just think it's gonna look a little bit better with the camera mounted behind the laptop as opposed to resting on it. But yeah, that is the current setup, and I don't actually hate it as much as now with the camera there, I think it looks a little bit nicer. I love the contrast and more, because I wish I could get the light a little bit higher up here to fill in this space here. But this is the best lit my face has ever been on a podcast, and I'm able to consistently do it. I felt like I was really, because the lighting in the previous apartment was so contingent on what the sun was doing outside, because I was facing the window, so if it was a cloudy day my face was different, and not being a strong lighter, I didn't know how to counteract that with my panel light. So I used to just have the panel light in the window, and now I have this ring light. I can keep the lighting on my face consistent. It looks better than it ever has. So I do enjoy that. I can control the lighting a little bit more in this environment. Obviously the blue here, like it wasn't this blue yesterday because we had a cloudy day, so it wasn't quite as sunny, so it wasn't quite as blue coming in here. But I can control more of the lighting in here. So I think this is a much nicer looking setup than the one I had before. Obviously probably nice for happenings on the wall or something like that, but this room is a work in progress. But I am, all things considered, pretty stoked with this new setup. One thing I will say that I did not consider with this new apartment is the fact that I knew they were out there, but that they're building out there and they're mixing cement again. They literally mixed cement all day yesterday, like throughout my podcast. Luckily I'm able to edit it out in the background, but hopefully they don't make any crazy loud noises. For the most part, it's okay, but like you can definitely hear it a lot more just sitting in here than you could when I was one apartment over in the other unit. But yeah, that's just one thing I definitely didn't consider. But anyways, I got about 5 minutes here, 7 minutes to podcast time. Really looking forward to social. I've got 2 interesting stories to talk about today. I've got one about TikTok and ByteDance, which owns TikTok, and how they're going to be getting more into, or how they're getting more into gaming. And I'm going to make a prediction on the podcast that you're going to start to have playable games within TikTok. And then my other story for today is about Instagram and how Instagram's focusing more on video and not focusing on photos anymore. But then kind of, which obviously people upset and taking it from the angle that was always Instagram's plan to not just focus on photos. Because I read a really interesting article by Ben Thompson, I believe, who writes the Stratchery book. So anyways, I'm stoked. I'm stoked with these 2 stories I got for the social report, and then I get to be interviewed. So obviously I have vlog. I love talking to myself. So I get to talk to myself for 30 minutes, 60 minutes with Tom from the UK. His channel's Tom Talks Rubbish. If you want to check out the interview, it'll be out by the time I release this vlog. But yeah, so exciting, busy afternoon. So I'm going to go fill my water here before this podcast and just get into it. Now we're going to talk some Olympics stuff here, but before that, I want to make a bold prediction about something completely unrelated to the Olympics. But it comes down with TikTok, and my bold prediction when it comes to TikTok is that we're going to see gaming, like you're going to be able to start playing games on TikTok itself. And so here's kind of my backing up that prediction is, so TikTok recently launched a gamers hub within their platform. So it's just part like a page within the app that's all around gaming. All the channels that you want to follow are there. Gaming videos are there. This comes just a couple months after a couple of gaming acquisitions. So they bought not ByteDance themselves, but their gaming division, which is called Nuverse, acquired Moonton at around $4 billion in March. And they also acquired C4 Games in April. They don't have financial details on that, but so they acquired them in April. And both of those, I believe both of those 2 publishers are actually mobile developers. And so this is them looking to go head on against Tencent, who has the most popular, they have, what's it called? PUBG, I believe, which is a multiplayer game, and that's popular on mobile, very, very popular game. So they're trying to go against Tencent, and Moonton, which was actually founded by an ex-Tencent employee. So they made these 2 recent acquisitions. They launched their gamers hub, and if we flash back a couple of years, ByteDance in 2019 launched its first game through Douyin, which is like their TikTok equivalent in China. And I just did an interview with Chris Stokel-Walker, who's been chronicling TikTok over the last year and just released a book on it. And he said, whatever you see in Douyin usually comes to TikTok a couple months later. So clearly they were testing it a couple of years ago. It probably didn't work, but with these recent acquisitions, especially mobile game companies, my prediction is that within the next 12, 18 months, we'll start to see mobile games available to be played within TikTok itself.
Because like we're recording this on a just to peel the curtain back a little bit, been in isolation for so many days, I'm not too sure what day it is. It's Wednesday, right?
Correct, yeah, the 28th.
We're recording this on the Wednesday, and I upload on a Monday.
Okay.
So this will go up on the Monday, and that Monday night I will be obsessively looking at what the views are.
You got it.
Which is not healthy.
It's not. And I actually was journaling about this literally yesterday. And I was thinking about it. I was like, when I'm the happiest with my podcast is during and after interviews, like right when I finish interviews. When I'm the least happy with my podcast is when I just sit there and I look at how many views or subscribers my show has. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it was just an interesting point. It's just like, it's not good for you to count the views, right? It's to focus on what you can control. And you can control the views to an extent, but you can control your interview more. Yeah. So, I mean, right now we're a boutique agency. We service clients across North America and in parts of Europe. By parts of Europe right now, it's just Vienna, Austria. I work with a company out in Vienna. And I work with some clients on both the West Coast and the East Coast of North America, specializing mainly in social media marketing and management, organic stuff. So like managing your Instagram, LinkedIn. I also, with just my experience podcasting, like I do some podcast editing for different clients as well. And so it's a lot of social media stuff and then podcasting when it comes up. Yeah, I understand.
Now I've branched out and I'm interviewing more semi-famous people like yourself and other people.
I would not describe myself as semi-famous, but that means a lot. I appreciate that. That's a good question. So I have a folder in my Instagram that's just literally people to message for podcasts. And it's anyone that pops up that I find interesting, I save them to this folder. And so when I need guests, I just go back to this folder and I start messaging people until someone says yes. And I had Chris saved in my folder for like 2 years. So I honestly can't remember where or how I found Chris Van Vliet. Maybe he might have actually, now that I think about it, if I were to guess. So I had a photography Instagram account for a brief period that I then stopped doing. That's off of Instagram now. But I shot Bound for Glory. Like I took photos of Bound for Glory, Impact's pay-per-view.
What, a ringside photographer?
Correct. Yeah. So I took photos of Bound for Glory in 2017, I believe, because it came to Ottawa where I live and they did it live here. So I got to shoot it because of the company I worked for at the time.
Was this how the Bobby Lashley thing came out as well?
Correct. Yeah. But I think it was, it was a cage match with Bobby Lashley. Yeah. I shot that event.
Yeah. But the bit that I watched on the Chris interview where you said
that's right. Yeah. So they were in town in advance of the pay-per-view doing promo stuff. And so I shot Bobby Lashley because I worked for a football team and a hockey team at the time, like a sports management company. And they were doing some promo stuff with the football team. So I was taking photos of the football players with Bobby Lashley, and Eli Drake was the other wrestler that was there with Bobby. Mm-hmm. And so I forget where I was going with that. Oh, Chris, so I'm assuming because I was posting a bunch of wrestling photos on this photography account, my Instagram Explore page started recommending me wrestling content. And so I'm assuming I stumbled onto Chris that way somehow, if I were to guess, but I'm not entirely sure exactly where and how I found Chris Van Vliet for the first time. Awesome. All right, dude. Yeah, take care. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Guys, just finished recording with Tom. Again, his YouTube channel is Tom Talks Rubbish. That episode will be out by the time this vlog is, so make sure to check it out. I'll link our interview in the description below so you can check it out. But no, it's a good time. I'm definitely still, the podcast voice is still here, talking at the top of my throat as opposed to talking out of my mouth, but like how I normally do. Obviously I always talk out of my mouth, but there's like something different I do in my throat that makes my voice sound like this when I do podcasts. And it always is like your retail voice where it takes you time to lose it. It's the same thing with my podcast voice. I can't just like snap out of it. But no, that was a super good time. The social report with Karen and Scott, that went super well. And then this podcast with Tom. So Tom's from Essex in the UK. And yeah, it was a fun interview. He's a good dude. Again, found him on Twitter. Power of the internet, right? It was great. It was good. I haven't done an interview in a hot minute. It's been probably six months since I was on a podcast or done an interview, so it was a lot of fun. I'd like to do more of those. If anyone watching this wants to have me on their podcast, feel free to reach out. But no, good time. The new setup worked well. Lighting, I was concerned that might fall. It didn't fall. Honestly, when I'm in interviews, I don't even hear the background noise anymore because I'm not focusing on it. So yeah, no, it's a ton of fun. I love doing interviews. I probably have just seen some clips. I'm assuming I'll drop them in there. But now I got to tear everything down. Tom is new and he's not big in editing, so I told him I'd throw an intro into his video for him and I'd edit it quickly for him. So just gonna edit that quickly for Tom and then send it back to him so he has that to come out on Monday. And other than that, I gotta edit the social. I have to edit both of those. I have to edit the social report, make sure that comes out. And yeah, I've already told you my whole day, so I'm just gonna start tearing this office down and then get to editing. Figured I'd do one last quick update here before ending the vlog. Since I spoke to you last, I ate dinner. I worked some more. I ate dinner. I played one quick game of FIFA and then I got back to work. It's 9:30 p.m. now. It's been like a few weeks of long days, and like I say I worked this evening, but there was definitely probably like a 20-minute TikTok period and maybe like 20 minutes of YouTube in there because I just kept kind of like hitting that wall and crashing and trying to push through and just knowing I need to kind of take a break, but yeah, it's been like a few weeks of this. So the vacation is gonna be, I hope, relaxing. I pray it's gonna be a relaxing vacation. Probably gonna be a little stressful, but it's gonna be nice to take a little break from work. But yeah, I think one thing I need to do a better job of is making sure I kind of have these boundaries when it comes to work, and especially the podcast, because like the work honestly isn't so bad in terms of creeping up on me. It's the podcast really can pile up from time to time, and like the podcast is something I am literally in complete control of, but I let it dictate me and my life and my schedule so frequently. So something I need to be cognizant of kind of going forward is not letting the podcast absolutely dominate my schedule. And it's the reason, like if I didn't have the podcast, I would have had an early finish to my day today. I probably wouldn't have been done work today at 2. But the podcast has really just crept up on me. So something I need to be, anyways, I'm not going to rant about it here on the vlog, but something I definitely need to keep an eye on, and I definitely hit the wall this evening. But I still got most of what I need to get done. I would just like to be able to do that in less time, and I'm working on it. Like I found ways to condense the edit of my vlog and everything, or edit the edit of the podcast and things like that. But yeah, I don't know if this might be the last vlog before I go on vacation, but I do, like, another thing too is I want to make sure, so it's 9:30 and it's like I'm going to take my break. My break is going to be writing, because writing is something I do for fun, creative writing, which I've been doing for the last 6-7 months now at this point. Like, and I haven't talked about it really on the vlogs. I need to do a proper like sit down life update video where I really just kind of like mount the camera on a tripod and talk for like 10-15 minutes, just kind of update on what's happened, because I really went dark with the vlogs for a few months there. Just kind of very, very sporadic or not at all. But anyways, this has been a bit of a ramble here, but a good revelation. The reason my schedule is so whack is the podcast and it's not work. So I need to, that's a good thing for me to kind of call out and say out loud. It's good to say things out loud and not just think them in your head sometimes. It's good to write them down on paper too. But anyways, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate you for sticking through this vlog. It's probably a pretty long one. Honestly, there's been a few rambly rants for me in this one, and plus clips from 2 interviews or 2 podcasts, I should say. But no, I appreciate you for sticking through it. This might be the last vlog until I go on vacation. I'm going to try and get multiple vlogs when I'm on the vacation, maybe every day. Who knows? I'll see what I can do with that. I'd like to do one every day. Like there's the travel, which is always good vlog content. Then I'm going to be at my dad's at the lake with my family, which will be good because I'm going to get that ready. That's my buddy's like bachelor party and wedding. So those will be 2 good days, and then it's just going to be back in the town I grew up in. So it'll be some good vlog content. So maybe I'll get vlogs in every day. Won't be me working, it'll be something fresh, something new. Not me in my gym, not me working out on the floor of my apartment. So who knows, but maybe we'll get some different stuff coming in here. But anyways, appreciate you for sticking through this, and I'll talk to you soon. If you enjoyed this, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe. It's time for me to end this. Subscribe to the vlog, comment down below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram @JacobKelly. But anyways, no, I'm jumping off here. I'm gonna do a little bit of writing and then probably reading and get to bed. But yeah, we'll talk soon. I know I said I was done here, but I just have to. I would be remiss if I didn't show you this, because like, what is this creature here? What is he doing? Also, fun fact, I told myself I wasn't going to let the pets in my room when we moved, my office I should say, because of pet hair, but that clearly clearly hasn't lasted, considering I have 2 of the 3 in here. But seriously, what is this thing here? Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys soon.